All right, so talking about rational numbers, right? We're talking about everything that defines rational numbers, fractions, decimals, okay? Tonight's homework, we're going to talk about what it's like to multiply them. So you're going to see a lot of review here. There's a couple other things I want to make sure I point out to you, though. All right, so no vocab today. So if you haven't already done it, make sure you have a piece of paper out. Okay, first and last name up at the top, period, date, assignment number, page. Okay, here we go. So taking a look at the examples here. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at page 110, problem number 23. Problem 23. All right, so here we go. I'll go up to the top up here. 23, your book page says, find each product, write in simplest form. So we have 3 1/3 times, I know it's times because the number is right next to the parentheses, times negative 1/5. Okay, here we go. Step 1 is if you have a mixed number, convert it to an improper fraction first. So in this case, okay, we just talked about this last lesson. I'm not going to go into great detail, but of course 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1 is 10. So we have 10/3. Okay, please do me a favor. We can call this step star actually. Make sure that you remember, rewrite the problem. Rewrite it. Okay, it is now that you have a choice to make. We have to reduce this thing. So you have two choices. You can multiply this, and remember the nice part about multiplying fractions is that you just multiply straight across, numerator and denominators. So you can multiply it and then divide it, or we can multiply it or then reduce it. That's what I meant by division. Or we can reduce it, then multiply it. Okay? You can reduce it before you actually solve it. Now, a lot of people get in the rhythm of just multiplying it, getting the answer, and then reducing. The issue with that is what happens when you get a problem that is huge. An answer, a simplified answer, not a simple. You miss it up. Just an answer that is huge that you have to simplify. And then all of a sudden you're talking about really working on long division. Sometimes it's easier to reduce before you even solve, all right, by cross-reducing. Okay, so those of you that remember, awesome. Those of you that don't, that's why I'm going to review this. So here we go. Remember, cross-reducing is you are looking at the diagonal numbers to see if you can use the both of them to reduce. So here's what I'm talking about. For example, I'm going to look at 10 and 5. Now, you don't have to write this down, but when I look at the 10 and 5, here's what I'm looking at, as if it was a fraction like that. And I can reduce. Well, if it was a fraction like this, what can I reduce by? 5, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and reduce these by canceling these two out and reduce. So dividing both of them by 5. 10 divided by 5, I'm going to write my new number right here. It's 2. And 5 divided by 5 is 1. Now, sorry, we didn't write that, but that would be step 3. Okay. Now, step 4 is, of course, simplify. So now that I've reduced, I can multiply straight across. Now, sometimes you can reduce both ways. This one, though, I can't reduce a 1 and a 3, like 1/3, right? So multiply straight across. 2 times 1 gives us 2. 3 times 1 gives us 3. Now, here's what I want to do. Put a little star by step 4. Don't forget your negative, right? We have a positive times a negative. Positive, they're different, so it gives us a negative. Put a little note here. Negative integer rules. Okay, as a little reminder of what the star is all about. Okay. Okay, questions? Yeah, because you're multiplying, right? So even though it's a fraction instead of a regular integer, you still use the same rules. If you have a negative, if they're both negative, the answer is positive because they'd be the same. Okay, if one's negative, one's positive, your answer is negative. And of course, it's positive if both of them are positive. Okay. Here's what I want you to do. Even if you feel comfortable doing it the other way, reducing at the end, I want you to challenge yourself with cross-reducing. Okay, once you get good at it, you'll like it much more. It's much easier and it's much more accurate because you're dealing with reducing smaller numbers. Okay, which makes it easier. All right, here's what I want you guys to try. Okay, problem 26. Problem 26. Check in with you guys in about 1 minute. Go. Okay, anyone need more time on 26? Okay, give you a little bit more time. Again, those of you that are done, go ahead and work forward on other problems. Don't skip into a new section, but in that section, do the problems that are left. Okay, checking in. How many of you still need more time? Okay, about 15 more seconds and then we'll show. Okay, 30 seconds. Go ahead and turn to your neighbor. There's some people that are struggling a little bit with this, so not only share your answer, but talk it out, especially if someone doesn't understand it. Okay, 30 seconds. Go.
I simplified it. I got 35 over 8 times 24 over 7. Then I did cross-reducing. So I crossed that out. Cross 35 out of 7. Then divided it by 7. So 7 and 7. And I just wrote it.
Okay, here we go. All right, so problem 26 was 4 3/8 times negative 3 3/7. Okay, so for right now, I'm just looking for an answer. Just an answer, all right? So see 27. Negative whole number 15? Agree, disagree? Negative 15. Okay, mainly agreements, some disagreements. Okay, anyone want to share a different answer? Negative 40. Anyone else? Okay. Okay, well, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and follow the steps. I'll even use the notes from over here. Look at this. Step 1 says we need to take our mixed number and change it to an improper fraction. So that's 32 plus 3 is 35 eighths. Okay, actually look at this. I've got to do both of them on this one, right? So this is a negative. So 21 plus 3 is 24 sevenths. Okay, here we go. We have 24 and 8 are both divisible by 8. 8 divided by 8 is 1. 24 divided by 8 is 3. 35 and 7 are both divisible by 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 35 divided by 7 is 5. Now, I go ahead. I just did, of course, step 1, step 2, and step 3, right? So, here we go. Go ahead, simplify. So 5 times 3 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. Okay, this is a positive times a negative, so we have a negative. And of course, that could be simplified and expressed as negative 5. Sorry, I was getting ahead of myself. There we go. I was actually meaning to do that. I was just seeing if you guys were paying attention. You guys passed my little test. Good job. Nicely done. Did I say 15 or did I say 5 when I said it? 5 times 3 is 5? That's why I'm your teacher. All right. Even I can make mistakes. Okay, guys. Bottom line, though, when it comes to the major steps, cross-reducing. Questions?
Is that technically the whole lesson? That's the whole lesson?
Well, that's that part of it. Okay, those of you that had negative 40 or something similar, any questions? Because right here, I just used the steps I showed. Okay, of course, we had to do it both ways to make it easier on ourselves, but this part was just basic math facts. Okay? No questions? Okay. All right, let's check out the next type of problem. Let's take a look at problem number 40. Okay, number 40. Number 40 is negative 9/10 times 7 times 2 1/3 times 1 over 21. Okay, so here we go. You're going to see me do this problem using the same exact steps. Even though there's a lot of different ones here, I'm going to use the same exact steps. Watch this. This works with multiplication. First of all, I'm going to make sure that any either whole number or mixed number is written as an improper fraction. So I have negative 9/10 times 7 over 1 times, that's 6 plus 1 is 7, so 7/3 times 1 over 21. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and then turn around and I'm going to cross reduce. So here we go. When I cross reduce, by the way, I'll put a little line here where we don't get these numbers mixed up, so I wrote them so close together. Okay, when we cross reduce, we are going to use associative property of multiplication to make this job easier for us. So watch this. Okay, first of all, see this 9 right here? I cannot cross reduce with the 1, but remember in mathematics that if it's all multiplication, order doesn't matter. I can multiply this with this one over here first. Because that rule helps us, watch this. I can cross reduce here and way over here. 9 and 3. So I can reduce both by 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Using that, I now see another one. Look at this. 21 and 7. I can cross-reduce 21 and 7. Both by 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 21 divided by 7 is 3. Okay, here we go. I'm going to blow your mind. We've already reduced this, but now look at this. 3 and 3. I can cross-reduce those again by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Whoa. Okay. And that is okay. Okay, so we can skip around because it's all multiplication. The whole problem is multiplication. I can do that. Okay? I can link each of the fractions together. So now, after I've cross-reduced, I'm going to go ahead and solve. So multiply across. So 1 times 7 times 1 times 1. Because they're so small in this case, I can just multiply the numerator straight across. And that, of course, is 7. 10 times 1 times 1 times 1. I need to make sure, of course, I check for negatives. Are there any negatives? Yes. So a negative times a positive is a negative. Times this negative times this positive is a negative. A negative times this positive is a negative. Okay. Any questions on that one? We're okay? I have some people looking like, wait a second. We're all right? No questions? I'm going to have you try one. Okay, listen. When I have you guys try one, I want you to try it on your own following the steps. I don't want any talking. Of course, I'll let you talk during the designated time, but I want you to struggle. If you struggle, hopefully you don't struggle, but if you do, I want you to struggle through it by using the steps, using your notes. Okay? All right, here we go. Problem number 36. Go. Okay. Anyone need more time on that one? Okay. Checking with you guys about 15 more seconds there. I'll have you guys share in about 15 more seconds. Again, those of you that are finished with that one, go ahead and do other ones like that while we're waiting on the people who are finishing. Okay, 30 seconds. Go ahead and turn to your neighbor and share. Go.
I got 113.
All right, here we go. I'll record your guys' answer over here. All right, so the answer for number 36. Seat 31. 1/13, like that. All right, agree, disagree. Okay. All right. Most of you guys have it. I'm just going to assume that if you're not giving me a thumbs up, that means you disagree. All right, make sure everyone's thumb up or thumb down. Okay, so the funny thing is I'm looking at this problem, and I bet a lot of people probably started with 2 and 4 because it's just left to right sort of thing. But those of you that then turn around, and you know what, I bet I'll go ahead and do that first anyway, even if you didn't start with that. 2 and 4 both divide by 2, so I get 2 divided by 2 is 1, 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now, here's the thing. Some of us, you can either reduce 6 and 2 or 6 and 3. So some of you guys probably reduce that. Some of you guys may even started with 6 and 4 first, and that could have happened as well. Okay, so here we go. I'll go ahead and do the 6 and 3 over here. So 6 and 3. So they both divide by 3. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And 2 and 2, right? So we can reduce one more time. Now, let's say I didn't reduce that. Let's say I went 1 times 1 is 1 times 2. Let's say I didn't reduce it, right? I get 2 here, and then I go 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 13 is 26. You can still reduce. It's not like, oh, I messed up, it's too late. Okay, it's okay. But the other thing I want to say is there is a chance that you will go through a problem and forget to reduce part of it and get to the end. So when you get to the end, always check to see if you can reduce further, just in case you miss something. So that's where, of course, instead of reducing by 2 here with cross-reducing, I could reduce by the 2 here and get the 1/13. Okay? Either way it works. Okay? Questions on that one? Okay. All right, now let's go ahead and we have one more type of problem on this lesson. So let's take a look at problem 46 on page number 110. All right, so it says complete each conversion. So number 46, they're asking 1/4 of a minute is equal to how many seconds, okay? Now, even this school year, I'll probably teach you how to solve a problem like this 2 or 3 different ways, okay? And each way depends on the problem, it depends on the situation, so each strategy I'm going to teach you this year is pretty important. For the sake of this problem here, okay, we'll kind of do it maybe the 6th grade way, okay? And so what I'm talking about is if someone gave you a problem like you have 2 minutes, how many seconds is that? Well, what would you do with this? How will you find out? Okay, maybe I should review this with us. All right, here we go. Okay, eyes up here. Okay, if I want to find out how much this is, one easy way to do it is realizing that 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Okay? So if that is the case, well, this is 2 minutes. So all I would, of course, do is multiply the 2 minutes with the 60. And, of course, we'd get 120 seconds. Okay? So all you're doing is you're looking at your conversion saying, oh, there's 60 seconds in 1 minute, so I'm just going to, for 2 minutes, it's 60 times 2. Now, this is the same exact problem. Okay? So this is, of course, 1/4 of a minute, quarter of a minute equals how many seconds? Well, there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. So here's our math problem, and we can consider this step 1. Okay? I guess step 1 can be mental math, and that is think of your conversion. In this case, right? And for your note purposes, we could just put 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Okay? Then step 2, set up your multiplication problem. And this is mental math. If you want to write it down to help yourself out, you can. But this is mental math. Step 2 is take my minute here that I'm converting to seconds, and I'm going to multiply it by the 60. And then step 3 is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to simplify. And when I say simplify, I'm going to use all the steps we've been talking about up here. So it's 1/4 times 60 over 1. I can see they're both divisible by 2 at the very least, right? 60 divided by 2 is 30. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And now they're both even again, so I can even reduce even further. 30 and 2, they're both divisible by 2, so 30 divided by 2 is 15. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And now I multiply. 1 times 15 is 15. 1 times 1 is 1. And that, of course, bless you, is 15. Now listen, I would like, since there's words, I would like you to put, of course, seconds, put your units, just to get in the habit. But someone could make the argument, well, Mr. Wilkins, we're only filling in the box. Seconds is already in the problem. And I mean, that would be a legitimate case. But, you know, try to put seconds, or you can abbreviate seconds if you want, just to kind of get used to the units like our class rule is, okay? Okay, so bottom line is this. Think of your conversion, and then, of course, use that to multiply with whatever they give you. And that is how we're going to convert to how many seconds, okay? Any questions? Okay, I want you guys to try out problem 44. Problem 44. All right, go. Try problem 44. Okay, check it in. How many of you guys still need more time? Okay. Again, those of you that are done, just go ahead and continue on your homework. That's our last type of problem, so you can continue almost anything you've got there. Okay. Anyone still working on that problem? Okay. About 20 to 30 more seconds, and then I'll have you guys share with each other. Okay, 30 seconds. Go ahead and turn to your neighbor and share.
I got 19,060.
This is what I got. Okay. Wait, no, it's 72 feet. Wait, it's 70. Oh, it's 70. I forgot that's on my answer. It's 720 feet. 720 times 3.
Okay, I appreciate some of you guys helping each other out. A few people are stuck here. All right. Just kind of seeing where everyone's at. All right. The answer, the people that do have answers here, let's go ahead and find out what we got. Seat 10.
That's me, but I did it wrong.
Okay. So make sure you.
I accidentally did. I didn't divide it because I didn't think we could go into 5,280. So then I just kind of
Okay.
multiplied across.
All right. Thanks for being honest. You guys, remember, I mean, making a mistake's not a problem. It's not knowing what mistake you made. So if you know what you did, that's awesome. All right. That, you know, the next step, of course, is correcting it. Right. So that's good. Okay. Seat 8. $3,520 over. Did you say over something? Over 3? Okay. Agree, disagree? Okay. Couple of agreements, some disagreements. Okay, anyone else? Other ones out there?
3,520 feet.
3,520 feet by itself?
Yeah.
Okay, agree, disagree? Okay, more agreements there. Okay, well let's take a look. All right, here we go. So, I'm going to follow through these steps, right? So what is the conversion between feet and miles? Well, it's, and they actually tell you, don't they? Yeah, 5,280 feet for 1 mile. So what we're looking at is we're looking at 2/3 times. Okay, listen, I'm going to skip a little step here. When I rewrite it, I'm going to just write it down as an improper fraction immediately. Like that. Okay, that's okay. It's not cheating. Okay. Now, watch this. For those of you that need some brushing up on your divisibility rules, okay, kind of like if a number ends in 0, you can divide by 10. If it ends in 5 or 0, you can divide by 5, right? If it's an even, you can divide by 2. Well, if you add up the digits, 5 plus 2 is 7, plus 8 is 15, plus 0 is 15. 15, if that number is divisible by 3, the big number is divisible by 3. Meaning, I can cross-reduce both of those. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And then, of course, this is like scratch paper work over here. Divided by 3. So 1, a little bit of long division. That goes in 7 times, 21. Bring down the 8, 6 times, 18. And then the extra 0, so 0. So it is 1,760. And then 1 times 1 is 1. 1,760 times 2, of course, is 3,520. So that, of course, is 3,520 feet. Okay, listen carefully. This is something you need to know. Okay? The problem talking about the year, 48, you might want to write that down. 48, 52 weeks in a year. All right?